My name is Jerry Zungu. It's such an honor to be a speaker in such a marvelous event. Jerry is just a vendor. Forget about all that which was being said by the president. I'm just a vendor. I believe that everything starts and stops with selling. So if you're not a vendor, you're never going to make money. I'm always, it's all about money end of the day. People, they say money is a root of all evil. But I would like to deny that. I believe that money is close to oxygen. You can't do anything without money. So it's all about everyone who is here, everyone who is getting into town, you need money. Eating, if you've eaten something, you need money, especially when you're living in Harare, it's always about money. So I'm just passionate about entrepreneurship, and I believe that this country can be turned around if entrepreneurs can change their mindset. It's never going to be turned around by the politicians, but the entrepreneurs are the ones who can, and especially the young people. I hate the word, the adage whereby people say the future belongs to the young. The future is actually right now. We must demand what belongs to us right now. And we don't have to wait for politicians to determine the future of this country. You can change your community. JCI is already changing a community. You have got the ability to change the community. I liked when the president actually said, you don't need to have a title to be a leader. We need leaders without title. Jerry started off as a vendor like what we had. I was selling sweets and bananas. Anyway, let me just say, I started off selling airtime. When I was selling airtime, I thought that was a bit of, during that time, I think it was around 2005, 2006 to be exact. Selling airtime was maybe a lucrative vending because only 10% of the people were owning cell phones. And I started off with selling airtime, and I was fired from where I was staying. The same month, on the 25th, I was fired by my cousins. By the way, I come from Watsomba. If you know a song called P.O. Box Watsomba, that's my song. Anyway, so getting into Harare, I started working for a company called Edgar's. And I was fired on the 25th. My cousins fired me from the house. On the 30th, Edgar's fired me from work. And I had two choices, to stay in Harare or go back to Watsomba. But then I said, no, I'll never go back to Watsomba. It's not like my mother was dead or my father was dead. My mother is a hustler. My mother is a senior vendor. She can sell better than me. My father was a soldier by then. So it was just like my background. But I said, no, I think I can do something on my own. And I was 18 years old by then. I said, I know I can do something. Then being fired, I had to find ways to survive in Harare. That's how I managed to start selling airtime. I was given 8.5 million Zimbabwean dollars, not USD. I know that during that time, most of the people were millionaires. But slowly, the millionaires are coming back, but in Zim dollar. We want to talk about US dollar millionaires right now. We need more millionaires coming out of Africa, not to have a lot of millionaires coming out of Asia or Europe. What's the difference between them and us? So what I want to tell you is after doing that, getting my 8.5 million, I had to split that 8.5 million. The 4 million I used it for rentals. The other 4.5 million, I had to buy airtime wholesale. And if I remember well, there were just 2 buddy airtime cards. 2 business partner. We've got a lot of Farmer 2000 in here. Huh? There was a card which was called business partner in Buddy. Buddy was for the executives. The 0912 by then, before it was 0772. So if you've got someone who's got a 0772, you better respect them. So, and business partner now was the 0913. Those were the average guys. Then the easy call was for farmers. And Telecel was mango, it was for house girls. And I was using a Telecel line. I was using a Telecel line by then. So that was my first phone number. By that time it was 0233. So what I want to say to you is after starting the airtime business, I still remember seeing my young brother, just of the similar age, but he's young, Japres. He was also playing in Budiro 5 by then. And there was my wholesale, I used to do it in Budiro 5 or Tichagariga. So meet him, and this other day I think he was kicked out of the bar because what he was playing was boring. Japres. I think he's arguably the best artist in Zimbabwe right now. So you can see how life changes. I think, so when I got my airtime, 8.5, my 4.5, I had to buy about 9 airtime cards, because each airtime card was for 500,000 Zimbabwean dollars. So you can imagine, that wasn't a lot of money, and a loaf of bread was going for 80,000 thereabouts, because it was actually subsidized. If you remember, people used to queue for bread, and it was very painful being a vendor, because I wasn't even surviving on bread. My daily meal was a freeze-it. Sometimes I would eat stale donuts. When push come to shove, sometimes I would eat, let me express it in Shona. Nzimbe ikadyiwa, ikaraswa pasi, anditi, ikarowa nezuwa, ikaoma, it becomes sweet. I was eating that in 2006 because I didn't have any, I wanted to save my capital. But I'll just summarize it. I quickly changed my airtime business, and I noticed that I think what is actually, people are making money because of cigarettes and sweets. So I had to sell all my airtime. I think it was around 12 million thereabouts, the total capital. Then I had to sell all my airtime. Then I started the cigarettes, sweets, selling also bananas and ring donuts, because it was a substitute for bread. So after embarking, and the inflation in 2006 was at 1,286%. And you guys are actually crying that the inflation was bad in 2001, but it was at 25%. And fast forward in 2008, the inflation was at 231 million%, which was highest in the world. We're actually part of the Guinness Books of Records because of that inflation. So these are the circumstances which we survived. It wasn't easy to sell in front of a police station. You could get beaten anytime. Personally, I was beaten 40 cuts under my foot, and I still have a scar for that. I was arrested 43 times, and I've got those yellow copies. I was arrested as a vendor. And I think it was section 15, subsection C of the council, and the City Council Act. Being arrested for the same offense, why? I wanted to survive as a vendor. It was a risk adventure. It wasn't easy. That's why right now I've been hardened. They know that I'm hard to actually deal with. Because why? I've been hardened by the situations. So what I just want to say, if Jerry was a vendor and Jerry is now being invited to speak to this audience, what's your excuse? Your excuse is the economy. You're waiting for someone to be president in order for you to start life. That's being stupid. You're waiting for your prophet to prophesy so that you can start a business, so that you can start challenging the status quo. Quit being stupid, start to think. So when an SI is introduced, whether the government you like it or not, that's an opportunity for you if you're wise enough. An SI can be bad for the whole economy, but it can be good for you. I'll give you an example. Dr. Strive Masiwa helped me to be a vendor. I still thank him. And there was a shortage of airtime by then. Because after embarking into the banana business and selling sweets, I had to later go back to the airtime when I had enough capital. And I employed 4 people as a vendor at the age of 18. And what's your excuse? What's your age right now? We've got young people who are doing wonders. You've got Tatenda Samkange, is 26 years old. So what's your excuse? What are you waiting for? People are grabbing opportunities whilst you're waiting for a savior to come. Quit saying I receive in your churches. That's nonsense. What are you receiving? Yes, you can receive something, but if you're not working for it, I'm sorry. What do you want to receive whilst you're not working? So I want to challenge you guys. We need to change our mindset. If Africa is going to develop, if Zimbabwe is going to change, it's going to be changed by me and you. If unemployment rate is going to be eradicated, it's going to be eradicated by you and me. Not by politicians, but by the business people. If you create employment for 2 people, 1 person, that's employment. I was talking about Dr. Strive Masiwa. He took advantage of the situation. Some of you actually bought your cell phone lines for more than, I think you could exchange 2 bits to buy a cell phone line. Because there was a shortage and they created that shortage, he maximized on it. Where is he right now? He's a billionaire. So if there's no electricity where you're staying, quit complaining that there's no electricity. Start to look for a solution. If you're going to find a solution to remove all these problems, that's how you're going to be rich. People are rich because they're solving problems. So Zimbabwe has got more problems, more economic problems. So it's us as the youths, we are the only ones who can turn around this economy. The opportunities are there, be it in mining, agriculture, consultants, etc. And also what I want to say is, you don't have to wait to found a company or to start a company to be called an entrepreneur. You are a founder of an organization. I'm just a founder. These guys, they are the entrepreneurs. Actually, I've come with the guys from M&J. These guys are the entrepreneurs. When I'm talking of an entrepreneur, is someone who is willing to take risk. That's my definition. And someone who is willing to grow a company, whether he started the company or not. In Zimbabwe, everyone wants to found something. Huh? Even a tuck shop, we want to be a CEO of a tuck shop. I've actually told my guys not to call me boss, to call me Mr. or say, I'm Jerry. Because these guys, they are also my seniors. I want them to give me ideas. So everyone here is an entrepreneur. And what I want also to say, quit looking for greener pastures. Start to make where you are greener. If you're working for a certain organization, if you're working for a certain organization, start to think like an employer, not to think like an employee. In our organization, we actually say we don't want to recruit employees. And what's the definition of an employee? It's not someone who is working for someone, no. It's someone who comes to work. When work starts at 8, he comes exactly at 7:59 because he's avoiding to be fired. When work ends at 5, if she is a lady, 4:30, she's in the bathroom busy doing makeup. That's a typical employee. Those people, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're owning a company right now, please don't employ those people. If they're in your company, fire them. I've noticed a big problem in this country whereby entrepreneurs are afraid, or owners of the company are afraid to fire. They think that the word is not supposed to be spoken. If you can hire, you've got a right to fire. You cannot be called a business person if you... What I just want to say is, guys, pay the price for you to pay any price. So what I'm saying is, if you are working for a certain company, you can make that place greener. There are people who paid the price for Econet to be where it is today. You look at the Tawanda Nyambiras, the Douglas Bowen. Those guys are now multi-millionaires because why? They started with Econet. They helped Strive when he needed them the most. I've got a client, I'm privileged to have one of a client who had to quit in Econet after he was offered 40,000 shares. Strive said when things were very hard and he couldn't pay their salaries, he said to them, guys, I think I can give you shares. And this guy was offered 40,000 shares. Just imagine that 40,000 shares right now in Econet, how much is that? This guy said, I want my salary Strive. I'm not an employer, I'm an employee. So employers are willing to make sacrifices in the companies they are working for. But employees are busy hunting for greener pastures somewhere. I was chatting to one of the person I used to work with. I hate calling people workers or employees, by the way. I was working with this other lady. I think she moved from our company. She went to another local company. She was being supervised by Chamuka there. Then, right now she's now in the UK. She called me and she said, this place is too hard. Because she was looking for greener pastures and they thought, well, after seeing your brothers and sisters posting. So what I want to say is, if you're working for a small company at an advantage, imagine if that company is going to grow to be the next Econet. So that's why I'm saying, quit hunting for greener pastures. Even those who are in relationships. The moment you start looking for a greener pasture, that's the moment you start disliking your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your husband or your wife. But if you can make your wife greener, you are the one who loved it. Huh? You are the one who accepted the proposal. You can make it greener. Huh? If you are attracted by miniskirts, make sure that your wife is dressing in miniskirts. If you are attracted, you've got men, I don't know what happens in the men's mind. They've got a tendency of, my girlfriend, I don't want you to wear miniskirts. Your girlfriend, they're not supposed to do a makeup, but they're busy looking at other girlfriends, people who have got makeup and the miniskirts. So why can't you make yours greener? And for you to be successful also, you need to be disciplined in life. It's very difficult to be, who is head of, I will always talk of a billionaire, or Philip Mataranyikas or Strive Masiwa, if you ever heard of any of their scandals? Who is ever heard of Strive Masiwa scandal? Who is ever heard of Philip Mataranyikas scandal? Because discipline and making money. Beer is better, guys. If a guy is following women, you die broke. I'm just being blunt. So what I just want to say to you guys, I was saying make where you are greener. Whether it's in your life, it's your boyfriend, it's your girlfriend, make them greener. Huh? If a husband may be looking for another, right now maybe someone is about to get into divorce. Sorry, I'm not preaching, I'm not taking your pastor's place. But anyway, what I was just saying is, if you look at people who are successful in Zimbabwe, that's why I don't want to, even if you're going to take the chartered vendor, I'm talking about the Zimbabwean stories. I want to talk about Tinashe Mtarisi. Huh? I want to talk about Philip Mataranyiga. I want to talk about Tawanta Mchikebere. Huh? I want to talk about Sharon now. The people who are doing it in this kind of economy. I think Tinashe also started in 2006. Huh? In Chitungwiza, Bareno is employing how many people? And what you start to say because you are just lazy, huh? You start saying what? Is connected to a certain part. Huh? He has got a snake. I think he's a thief. Huh? Ukaona mweyo wakupinda zakuti wakuru wenyika wakabva vati chi mudzimu yakurasha. So we need to start thinking and to say this is our only country. We need to go to other countries to actually create employment, not to be employees there. And you can even do it whilst in your small company. Do you know the disadvantage of joining big companies? I think there are people who are working for big companies. I'm not saying it's wrong. Sometimes you can wake up today, like I think we've got Gloria. I think she was appointed recently as this MD for Old Mutual. Good for her. Yes, but I'm saying the person who's working for a small company, you have got chances to grow. I started working soon after I was a vendor in 2009. I joined a company called AFA. The advantages of working for small companies, you can learn so much. There are people who are working from Chitungwiza, 40 kilometers from Harare, 45 kilometers, coming to work just to stamp receipts in a big company. That's what they do every day. From the 1st of January to the what? The 31st of December. That's what they'll be doing. If they actually found maybe perusing accounts, they'll be fired. But in a small company, you've got a chance to grow. So if you're working for a small company, good for you. You've got a chance to grow with that company. That's if the owner is not misusing funds. There's a disclaimer there. Because someone is going to say, Jerry said I should stay in this Museangwa's company. If things are not clear, you run away with your life. But what I want you to do is, please start pushing the management. Go with your ideas. Make sure that you are also contributing. There are many people who are good at contributing once they're in a bus going home. There are many people, like I think the president asked 3 questions. Soon after exiting this room, someone will be saying, I knew them. I knew those questions, but I just wanted... That's what most people are doing in this company. So what I just want to say to you guys, it's all about the mindset. Everything starts in the mindset. You need, and also what I want you I'll just summarize. I want you guys to learn a vital skill, which is selling. You can have a good product, but so long if you don't know how to sell, you die broke. Selling is not something which is supposed to be done by the salespeople only. I learned sales at the tender age because I was vending. That's when I learned how to speak to people. You can be the best accountant, but so long if you don't know how to sell, you die broke. If you don't know how to market your brand, if you don't know how important selling is, people see me posting several times on social media. I think those who follow me on social media, I post more than 5 times a day on my page. But it's very hard for me not to go home without $100 because of selling my books. As simple as that. It's $20. If I sell it to 5 people, that's $100. And that's the most expensive book in town because I know that it is good value. You can check all the books. That's the most expensive book written by a local author because I know that the value, and I'm guaranteed that the value which is in there is more than 2,000. If a focused youth, not the unfocused youths which are often talked about, one of my brothers. Do you know that most of the people, they know of celebrity scandals than they know about their jobs, even than they even know about their wives and their husbands and their boyfriends and girlfriends? Some can even count that this other celebrity, I think he was divorced 5 times. You are good at that, but when you ask you about your job, you don't have any clue. But you are busy saying Zimbabwe is very difficult. The money which I'm being paid is not enough. You are the one who can make it enough. Think outside the box. We need people who are enterprising. I think that's one of the goals for JCI. In whichever sector you are, don't cash excuses. And those who are running companies, don't accept excuses. You know, there are people like even when you start, you come to work late. I think even in my company, that's if you come to work late, it's not a secret. Maybe people are going to call me maniac, dictator, he's mad, but that is what makes me tick. And trust me, we are going to grow, and we are going to grow as a big company because of this kind of policies. If you are late for 1 minute, go back home. And we don't want any excuses. The only excuse which we accept, that's if you bring your coffee. It's simple as that. And when we say it about, when we just say we need your coffee, that's a good excuse for us. No one has ever come to work late. It's because we accept excuses. And as a human being also, you start even lying to yourself because of these excuses. Huh? If you're giving excuses that you are sick, sometimes you can even forget. Huh? Start saying my headache, I think it's painful, telling your friends, but you'll be lying because you are used to lie and giving those excuses to your supervisors. So coming back to sales, guys, we need to know how to sell. If someone says the price is too high, you don't have to negotiate it. It means you don't know how to sell. You don't have to talk about your quality. You have to talk about why is the price too high. So you guys, instead of following your celebrities, your so-called mbingas, it's something which always baffles me. When people start to talk about mbingas, I've never heard the names like Shingimtasa being mentioned. Do you know that Shingimtasa is a mbinga, a real mbinga? Not those fake ones. Do you know that Philip Mataranyika is a real mbinga? But those guys don't never be mentioned. You see, instead of following your mbingas, start following people who are going somewhere. Stay away from negativity. If your friend is negative, delete them. Even if your relative is negative, delete them. Even your wife is negative, delete them. Why should you keep someone who is negative in your life? I'm just being honest. If you fail to sell to them the ideas of being positive, what should you do? You should delete them. A wife who specializes in watching Zealot. By the way, I said, those who have got money are better. Never lie to yourself that when you are in poverty, you're going to end at the kingdom of heaven. That's the biggest lie. Because why? When you've got poverty or when you are not rich, have you ever noticed that if you're on a family gathering, you're the one who is accused of causing confusion? If you speak, you're not causing confusion. No one is even praying for you. Do you know that third-party prayers are actually better than your prayer? Do you know that? If someone just pray that this guy who is paying school fees for me, give him, please God, give him more years to live. Huh? Who is also praying for you? As a poor person, you are the only one who is fasting for yourself. Huh? You have now developed wounds on your knees because of kneeling. The secret is not on kneeling. Huh? The secret is actually on working hard and change your mindset. Start changing right now. Most of the people, I think, for the past days were 10 days. Most people were holy. Those who had, maybe those who wanted to be married, they were actually even saying if someone calls, they would cut calls. But on the 11th day, what started happening? You start to be normal. No, you need to be happy. I'm still a teenager. I'm still a youth. But what I'm saying is, yes, the years changed, but have you changed? How many have changed from what they were doing in 2021? Did you drop those negative friends? If you see a newspaper which is busy dishing out negativity, leave that newspaper. I know that there are other guys from... If a television station is busy giving you negativity, don't watch television. That's actually where there's a lot of negativity. How many are even following Philip Mataranyika connecting the dots? How many? You find probably 2 or 1. But how many are busy following negative news? Have you ever noticed that breaking news is always negative? Have we ever heard of an aeroplane which has arrived safely in China? Unless if it's the president. Huh? But when there's a crash, what happens? The journalists, they'll start, it will last for a whole week until they find the black box and what were the final words of the pilot. Busy giving you negativity. Have you ever noticed that when even they were actually mentioning the COVID statistics, where they were concentrating on what? Deaths. Because that's how they control this world, not in Zimbabwe only, but the whole world is controlled by negativity. They're busy dishing out negative news. 100 deaths, COVID-19, the economy is too hard, inflation is too high, it's going to be a bad year for entrepreneurs. That is the kind of the news which always sells every day. So we want to change our mindset. Just think about you and you alone, for just be selfish. How many have got relatives who are also in the country? I think almost everyone has got a relative who is in the UK, who is in the America, or people, and even in South Africa. If you ever notice that those people, they are hardly on WhatsApp during working hours. Huh? But us in Zimbabwe, on Facebook, there is a sudden influx of people at 8 a.m. exactly. Go and check this. You can check these statistics. All your friends will be online because there is now free Wi-Fi at work. If you are selling, that's better on WhatsApp. Someone is busy posting. People, they don't care about your kid. Huh? People, they don't care about how your wife is beautiful. That is not going to make you money. Don't be shy to sell your product. Don't be shy to sell the products of your company or the services of your company. Whether you don't own that company, start advertising that. Have your personal brand, be a professional, be a guru in your area. You know, advertising has changed right now. It's now 80% informational, 20% selling. So you should be always putting information on your page. JCI Prayer, I hope the presidents of the JCI, they've also started posting about JCI. Because you can have a president who can never post about you guys. So when people hear about JCI, they're even confused. Is it Jehovah's? They don't even know about that. So we should have, because you don't need to hire a digital marketer. Your president, your former president, these are your biggest marketers. Because there's a thing called power base in life. A power base is your friends, your family, your network. Those people, they want to support you better than anyone else. Although some high school friends are a bit jealous. Because some of them, they will be busy thinking that is still maths and English, but this is life. You know that at school it's funny. In school they first give you notes and they're given an exam. But in life, what happens? You're given an exam first and they have to find solutions. That's why the A students, most of them, they will never be rich. They'll stay average. Because they were never used to do it. They were told that mistakes are bad, but I'm saying in business, mistakes are good. When you join us even at M&J, we actually encourage you to make as many mistakes as you can in the first month. Because that's how you're going to be better. But this kind of education, yes, I've actually stopped, to be honest, I've stopped going to school because of this kind of education. Because I think I'm giving notes, I'm giving everything at universities even worse. Because only one person is going to graduate and the rest of the stream, they're busy copying that intelligent person. But in life now, you're given an exam. No one is never, who knew about COVID? Who studied COVID-19? Huh? No one studied about that. But it needs now someone who's going to think, find quick solutions, and go ahead. So we need to think, and you guys must stop just going to school to get degrees and to be called a professor or a doctor. That will never give you money. That's why, just to check, Most of the people who are rich in this country, do they have professorships? Because going to school and knowledge about money, but this knowledge is there. Where is it? It's on Facebook. Start following people like Zig Ziglar. Start following people like Gary Vaynerchuk. Start following people like Grant Cardone. Start following people just like many people have read, I think, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Robert Kiyosaki. Those people are going to teach you about money. They'll tell you that your house is not an asset. It can only be an asset if it's generating what? Money. But some people, they even think, have you ever noticed that Zimbabweans, sometimes we're dumb? You find someone building a 2-story in Chitungisa. It simply means that person doesn't have any knowledge about what? About money. So these are the skills which are fundamental in life, sells money. Start to even teach your kids or your young brothers and sisters about money. Not to mwana ane 16 years ndoba anozobatiswa $100 ne-boyfriend ovaenda. They should know, or they're actually given a car at 20 years. If it was a better car, maybe. But someone just goes crazy because of a Vitz and a Fit. Someone even thinks anything which is called a Mercedes-Benz is an expensive car. As Zimbabweans, I think we should actually check our so-called literacy rate. The way we admire Mercedes-Benz in this country, even old Benz which you can buy for 4,000, someone can go crazy for that. So it's all about, guys, we need to challenge each other. If a vendor managed to change, right now I think I'm running a company that got 54 people, and we want to grow that. We haven't started. There's nothing to get excited about that. We've actually built a foundation, and we are saying our goal is to employ, I think we need to employ directly 1,500 people. That's when we say, no, I think that's much better. We need to employ 20,000 people indirectly through our M&J HR. That's our goal. We need to change entrepreneurship in this country. We need to provide opportunities for the youth. So it's not me alone. I need Dylan to actually join me. I need you, Madam President, to join me. Mr. President, you must also join this struggle. We are in a war, guys, an economic war. But people cannot realize that. Africa is in a war. Just check what is happening to Europe, China. People are making money. I think there's an estimation that in 2030, more than 25% of the people in China will be millionaires. So how many people will be millionaires in China? And if you see Chinese, how many people are working for Chinese? Those guys, they want us to work very hard. They are heartless because that's why we are poor. It's not about the colonialism. People can mention sanctions. Yes, that's their right. People can mention a misgovernance. That's their right to do that. It just depends that you belong to which political party. But the right cancer which is killing this country is because of mindset. That's why we've got more churches mushrooming in this country. We are busy building churches the opposite side of Harare Street. The whites are busy building factories. And we are busy praying for a job in these churches to go and work into these factories. That is what's happening. I also go to church. Don't think I don't go to church. I go to church, guys. But we just need to think, it's not about your pastor, it's not about your prophet, it's about your mindset. If you go to Mazbaba, it's not about your Mazbaba who is going to change your life. It's you. So guys, I just want to thank you for this opportunity. If a vendor can change his life, you can also change your life. I used to wear those, I think those sandals, they actually called, or people they called Mapushi in Zimbabwe. And They even call them, mine used to be blue, but everyone would call them yellow push. I think people, you know that. Even when they were brown, they were yellow pushes. That is what I used to wear. Those were my shoes from 2005 up to 2007. Getting into town, I was supposed to then I'll get into town because it was very expensive to actually buy the combi during that time. So guys, we need to change. If Muna Ipeka Matrauza baruka is now standing and giving a speech. So what's your excuse? You went to UZ, you went to NASP, you are the educated one. What is stopping you from making a change in this country? So I just want to challenge you. People don't care about the church which you are actually attending to. We don't care about your background. People care about where you're going. It's not about what you are driving, it's about what is driving you. So thank you guys for this opportunity. I would like to thank you so much. Thank you so much.